Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Yes, it's the day after Halloween, and Netflix has already dropped a new Netflix Christmas movie, so I'm here to talk about it. Let me know in your comments below, when is the earliest you are allowed to start watching Christmas movies in your opinion, and which are your favorite? Give me your top 5 if you have them. Let's jump in. When his grandfather suddenly falls ill, holiday-hating Jules learns of his family's magical legacy and realizes he is the only hope to save Christmas. The Claus family is another take on the Santa Claus lore that we know and love, well, depending on the Christmas movie. I know I have a few of my favorite, but I was arguing whether to even start watching this, because the day after Halloween, November the 1st, is a really odd and very, very early time to put on a Christmas movie on Netflix. Nevertheless, it's here, and it's okay. There is stuff to like about it. The acting is what you'd expect for a kind of hallmark Christmas movie. I would definitely suggest watching this in the original language. I watched for about 5 to 10 minutes in the dubbed, and the dub wasn't great at all. I mean, it was fine. You heard it, you understood it, but it just didn't elevate the film at all. Going back to that original language, you really get some of the nuances and the culture that they've put this in. It's also filmed in locations that lends itself to Christmas. Well, my idea of the idyllic Christmas anyway. The colors, the way the vibrancy and the architecture kind of lends itself to holidays. And also the score, the music, I thought was definitely a plus, a quiver. It felt very Christmassy. It's that sort of magical Christmas score that goes well hand in hand with films like the Santa Claus, which is another one of my favorites. This one, however, it has a sideline story that I think is more entertaining than the main story. There's this mother, she's trying to sort out this factory bakery to make it more relevant, and she's trying to save it, and I thought that was a nice part of the story. I could have enjoyed more of that, but the main story, there are things I like about it, like the elves. Instead of doing CG elves, they're doing human elves with like pointy ears, and so they don't have to spend masses of money doing the CG. They're small, and it works for the most part. Sometimes the CG or the way they do it doesn't quite mesh with how they're interacting with the small elves. But for the most part, it's okay. It's fun in moments, but the kid that hates Christmas does get quite annoying for the majority of the film. I think that's what you're supposed to do, but that is the crux of the story. He has this legacy that he has to continue, but because of the loss of their father, there is this, I hate Christmas now, and you got to get over it. So it doesn't do anything new. It doesn't do anything different to what you'd expect. It is slightly different in the lore of the Santa Claus movies that we've seen. It has its own kind of lore, which I appreciated, but it needed to lean more into the magicalness and maybe establish kind of how they do things. They kind of skip around the, actually, how does this work? Not that you need to know how magic works, but sometimes some of the lore works and some of the lore doesn't work, which is why we have this heritage of many Santas, and then somehow they manage to still give presents across the world. And okay, so if you're a humbug, or as I'm sounding like a humbug right now going, wait, how does that work? That's not what you do with a Christmas movie. You basically put all sense of believability aside and you go, it's Santa Claus and he has his elves and he delivers presents across to the whole world in basically one evening, and rarely do we need to know the ins and outs of that. We do if they start showing it to you and then skip around bits. So for the majority of the film, they show you a little bit of the mechanics of how things work, and I thought that was quite interesting, but I really wanted to know, but how did you get there? How does the magic work? It's kind of why I like the Santa Claus movies. You get to see the factory, you get to see the ins and outs of it, what Christmas runs on, the believability. You know, Alf has that, you have to believe. Christmas spirit, you know, kind of spurs on the power of Christmas. And I just felt like it was missing something, some Christmas spirit. For the most part, I think you can stick it on the background if you're getting in the mood, Thanksgiving time, Christmas time. Well, you're maybe making Christmas dinner and there'll be moments in it you're like, yeah, I really like that. But for me, I'd stick on Santa Claus or Alf or one of the others that you'll go to for this time of year. I say this time of year, in a month's time maybe, when you start watching Christmas movies. It's okay. So I'm going to give it 2.5 Nicolas Cages out of 5. I thought the acting was okay. I thought the score was good. It looked great as a as a vibrancy for the Christmas time. I think that is probably its best feature, but it doesn't do anything new. So let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite Christmas movie? Will you give this a go? Once you've seen it, let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks so much for watching this, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.